Welcome to the RadioU podcast. Coming up, buying Sydney Sweeney's bathwater is cheaper than you think.
Also, Tinder just made it easier for girls to find a guy in finance who's 6'5".
All that and more on the way next. The RadioU podcast is back. I have returned after a vacation that I took to Connecticut. I want to give a bit of background on what this vacation was like.
Yes, let us know the deets.
So it was a family vacation.
Okay.
And it was really long. I was gone for a week. And I don't mean like, it felt so long. But it was, being gone for a week is as long as I've ever been gone from anywhere in my life.
Really? A week-long vacation is the longest?
Yeah, and I've done that a couple times.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe growing up. But I think as since I've been an adult.
Yeah.
A week is as long as I've been away or out of routine.
Yeah.
And so it's just that's a long time.
It is.
But it was good to get that relaxation going. But it was a family vacation. Mm-hmm. So where we were visiting family, we were visiting my in-laws. It wasn't gone for a week. It wasn't like we jam-packed a bunch of things to do into that week. It was a bunch of just hanging out with them and kind of just taking things slow and steady and easy.
I honestly prefer that type of stuff sometimes.
I do too, but I also like having something going on.
I like there to be a balance, like fun activities to do, but also I'm not the person that's like, we have to go out and do something every single day. Because also if you spend money on like a vacation house, you want to be able to enjoy that house.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So here, what we got to do, this is going to sound like heaven to a lot of people. To me, it was okay. I have other vacations coming up that I'm more looking forward to.
Okay.
What we got to do, we had the Memorial Day family cookout, so that was nice.
Yep.
We did eat very good.
Yeah.
That is a family vacation where you like a mix of good home cooking.
Okay.
And then going out. So we ate very good.
Good.
The Memorial Day cookout. We did fishing.
Okay.
I'm not a fisherman.
I'm not either.
I'm very inexperienced. I'm not good at it. But what I'm really not good at is once you catch the fish.
What to do with it then? I'm
not very confident in taking the fish off the hook. We didn't catch the fish to eat. These are catch and release.
Yeah.
And some of them, the hook was very difficult to remove, and I felt bad for the fish.
Oh.
I was like, I don't.
You're like, I'm hurting this fish even more.
I don't want to be the one doing that.
Yeah.
I don't want to torture this fish anymore. I've already made him late for something. I don't. Now he's got a piercing too.
Yeah.
And I don't want him to have a big hole in his head.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel great about that. It's not that I'm like, I don't like touching because, fish are slimy and gross.
Right.
I didn't mind that as much. It's just like, I don't want to have to keep working this hook around for so long before I can get this thing back to its home.
Right.
So that wasn't but other people around wanted to fish. I'm not going to sit that out.
Yeah, you should have just taken a step back and been like, I'm not the man for the hook removal.
Yeah.
Don't ask me to do it.
Well, it's also weird to like, hey, Papa. I don't like having to ask, you know.
You didn't want to seem like you didn't know what you were doing?
Yeah, my in-laws, I didn't want to have to like come to them every time I caught a fish and be like, can you do this for me?
Remove the hook for me.
But that was that.
Okay.
We got to go to the beach multiple times.
Okay.
But the weather was not beach weather.
Yeah.
So it was just walking around on the beach, which I still love. Honestly, I would have done that 5 more times than we did just because I love being around the sand and the ocean. It's the sound because it's Connecticut, but it's the ocean.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
I like being around that. And so that was nice. It was the most times we've ever gone to the beach on our trip to Connecticut, which we've been several times there. The most times we've ever gone. But also, we never got to swim.
Never got in the water.
No, yeah, just got the feet in there.
Yeah.
But, I did help some strangers fill in a hole that they were digging.
Oh.
They had dug a hole, and it was a pretty big hole. But then they're like, hey, we need to fill this in. because it's against the rules and the park ranger might come around and yell at us.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, you can count on me.
I'll help you cover this up.
Because I said to them, I was like, what is the fun of going to the beach if you can't dig a giant hole, especially when you can't swim because it's too cold?
Exactly.
You got to be able to dig that giant hole.
The hole, you got to do the sand castles, all the moats, all of that stuff.
Yeah, that's a part of the beach.
Yeah, that's like, a part of the experience.
You tan, you swim, you dig giant holes. That's what I like to do. Yeah. And so I didn't feel that it was right that the rules stated you couldn't dig holes. It was a big beach.
Yeah.
Plenty of room for a hole.
You just need to fill it.
Yeah.
I think that should be their addendum.
Yeah, you don't want to leave the hole.
Yeah.
Leave the hole unoccupied for someone else to deal with.
Yeah.
What else happened? I don't know. I went to a cat cafe.
Oh, I would like that.
This is another thing that was not my choice.
Okay.
Cat cafes.
Did Mrs. Hudson enjoy it though?
She liked it. It smelled. It was fun to pet the cats. It was
not
nice.
Smell good?
Yeah, it smelled. I mean, cats. There was 6 of them. Their litter boxes in there. It smelled like pee.
Ah.
So I didn't love that as much.
Yeah.
But it was a like super hippie place.
Okay.
So that was kind of odd to me. Like I'm not a big. I don't know.
I feel like that actually makes a lot of sense.
The cat cafe, it's either like super kawaii, right? And like Hello Kitty, or it's hippies. Yeah, and so this was a hippie one. But
that might be why it smells like urine.
Yeah, we don't believe in cleaning up after cats, man.
We don't believe in getting the actual good litter.
Yeah, this is all natural. Yeah. So all in all, a good trip. It was. You get a week away, you're gonna be relaxed.
Yeah.
What I loved every morning, and I do this on every vacation I have pretty much, is I like having my coffee because I usually wake up before everybody else, even though I still sleep in versus the show, and just sitting there and having coffee in contemplation.
Yes.
And especially by the pond that was there on the premises.
Yeah,
where people had been fishing.
I know you sent a picture of that in our RadioU DJs group chat, and I was like, yeah, that's what I would be doing on my vacation. Is like, I know I don't drink coffee, but I actually do get up early every morning, even on the days when I'm not on the show, like what you said. And I do, when I'm on vacation, I love to be in nature.
Yeah.
And so if I can just sit on a porch and relax and see a sunrise or a sunset, it's awesome.
I hate that so many hotels, and I've got another vacation I'm planning, and I would love for this to be the case. There's so many hotels that don't have balconies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just give me a balcony.
Yeah.
I'm not going to jump off of it. I want to sit on there and enjoy the morning.
Yes.
And enjoy the evening, too.
Right.
A lot of times is how you close out the night. So that's what I want.
Yes.
That's what makes me happy. All right. Happy, good to be back, though.
Yeah, glad to have you back.
We got a great week of shows in store, including this one on RadioU. My vacation started with a frisking. 8772 RadioU. I did fly to see some family in Connecticut, and when I went through the TSA, I got frisked.
Oh.
I went in the body scanner, put your hands over your head. They look at my naked body, and
that's not what they look at.
I walk out, and a man says to me, he says, an officer, it wasn't just a random guy, he says, "You've set off a sensitive area sensor. We're going to have to screen you." And he says, do you need a private screening room? And I said, "I sure hope not." And so
what?
There in front of everybody, and you know that when this happens, you're like, I know that I didn't. There's no reason, right?
There's nothing I have on me.
I know I got everything out, and I know there's nothing inside me, right, that should be setting this off. But then at the same time, you're like, but why?
What if?
Yeah, what happened here? And so he gives me the whole explanation of like, okay, I'm going to feel these parts of your body with this parts of my hand, and then we're going to flip around and leave these parts. And I'm like, all right. And there in front of everybody.
Oh, no.
He felt me up. He felt from all different angles. And then he set me free. I was good to go.
Oh, of course.
Didn't find my drugs.
I was going to say, you were clean. You didn't have anything on you.
I thought I figured it out.
That's nuts. Yeah, why would it set it off?
Nobody knows. He didn't say. I was like, did my shorts just have like a very prominent zipper or something? Like, what was it?
Don't wear those shorts again.
Yeah. So I don't know. I never got an answer. And I guess he didn't either. He's like, you set off the sensor, and then he's trying to find something. There was nothing to find.
Sometimes I feel like those airport security systems have no rhyme or reason. They'll just be like randomly selecting a person to.
That's what I want.
To frisk.
I know they literally do that with the little hand swab things.
Yeah.
So why not just go an extra mile and do it with the X-ray machines too? So he did. But here's what's weird too. And now I'm thinking maybe it's something with the machine.
Okay.
Because the guy right behind me also got frisked.
What in the world is wrong with this machine?
Yeah, I know. I think that needs to be, I don't know how you do testing on that. But what are the odds? Two of us completely clean and we both get frisked.
Yeah, like here's the thing. I understand why they have to do this, obviously. We know why.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, we understand.
The good news was I got on the plane, we all flew safely.
You were fine in the end. But I also hate flying because I don't want to have to deal with this experience. You know what I mean? It's just not a fun experience.
It wasn't fun. Not for me.
Yeah, clearly. No.
But I don't, it's so weird too. I don't understand. I thought the TSA was, I know you get different agents that sometimes want to like be more strict or whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't know the rules were different at different airports. Because at the airport I flew out of where I got frisked, it was like, take off your belt, but use every laptop you have needs to go in a different bin, and the laptops can't be in the bags, and then these other things you need to take out and blah, blah. Like it was like there was the airport I flew out of, everything needed to be in its own bin.
Okay.
And some stuff shouldn't be in a bin. It should be on the belt, but not in a bin. And then I fly back and they're like, just put your bag there and just walk through.
Okay, I don't think that's an airport thing. I think that's literally you just running into different TSA agents that are being very specific and being, like they're requiring extra work for you because they just feel like it.
Yeah, because it was very not busy both times.
Okay, good.
So maybe they just, at the place I flew out of, maybe they just needed something to do.
Yeah.
They're just like, we're bored. We've been standing around. This guy looks like a good mark.
Exactly.
Let's feel him up.
Let's bother him.
We finally know when Netflix is releasing Stranger Things Season 5. We'll finally get some closure on the story, and Netflix announced as part of their Tudum event over the weekend. So it's Tudum. That's supposed to sound like the
Netflix opening. Yeah.
I think that's a stretch.
Ta-dum.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But nevertheless, there was a lot of, they had a big live event over the weekend. You can stream it now, I think, on Netflix because they were alerting me about it.
Oh, really?
It's mostly just like a bunch of trailers back to back.
Oh, great.
For stuff that's coming out soon. Which includes Stranger Things Season 5. I feel like that's the big headline because everybody's like, when is that finally going to happen?
Yeah, because we didn't know before this event. We had no idea when it was going to release. All we knew was the episode titles and that it was coming out sometime this year.
They said it's going to happen, we swear. And now it finally has a release date. So it actually has release dates. November 26th, which would be, I'm sure, Thanksgiving weekend.
Yep.
You get 4 episodes.
Yep.
Then Christmas Day, you get 3 more episodes. Then New Year's Eve, you get the final episode. Why are they doing this?
I hate this.
It's so stupid.
It's so dumb. I was literally talking about this with my cousins yesterday, which I misunderstood. I thought because I didn't see this, I thought they said that it was 1 episode coming out in 3 different parts. And it was going to be like feature length episodes, like feature film length. But no, it's 4 episodes, 3 episodes, and 1 final episode. But yeah, I was talking to them about this. I was like, I'm not changing my plans for the holidays because of Stranger Things Season 5.
Yeah.
I am going to wait until all of these are out, and then I'll watch these on like New Year's Day.
Yeah, this sucks. This is such a dumb,
I hate it.
With the holidays, it's such a dumb way to do it.
Yeah.
I know it's like, oh, you'll have more time,
But you're spending time with your family. You're opening presents.
Between Christmas and New Year's Day, there's a lot of time in there where you should be able to watch these. But also, that's not what I'm thinking about at that time.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there is a lot of time there, but there's so much sports and there's so much other, like, there's
Playoff football's happening.
Yeah.
Like, come on. I'm not watching Stranger Things if playoff football is happening.
And here's what I don't like, because I know this is what would happen, is you put out 4 episodes on Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
Then it's like pressure on you Thanksgiving weekend to watch all of those episodes, because they will get spoiled for you if you come around on Monday. I feel like if you go with the way that so many other streaming services have gone back to, which I like, and that is do 1 episode a week. If you want to draw out people's subscriptions and make it so they can't just subscribe when the one show they like and watch it all and then lose the subscription, then do 1 a week. Don't do this little batch deal. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this release schedule, and they've done this a couple of times now with Stranger Things and some other shows from Netflix, and I don't like that. But I would agree with you, to come out on Thanksgiving Day, to come out on Christmas Day, and then New Year's Eve, it's just like there's so many other things you already do with your family, so many other traditions you have. The last thing I'm thinking about is adding Stranger Things into the mix. But I also would agree with you. I am worried about, can I make it until New Year's Day without getting spoiled?
Because my first instinct is I want to just wait till all of the episodes are out then.
Right.
And just try to watch it once they're all out. But then it's like, there's no chance you're going to go a month without stuff getting spoiled. Like, no way. So
it'll be tough.
I just feel like this is like, sometimes I feel like streaming services, like they're trying to capitalize on big weekend, times when they think people have time to watch or will be looking for something to watch. This doesn't feel like they're capitalizing on it. It feels like they're pressuring me to use that holiday time. And I don't want to feel pressure.
Right.
I hate feeling pressure.
Yeah.
Like I don't need, why are you being like my boss or my parents right now?
Right.
This is supposed to be fun.
Right.
It's not supposed to be a chore.
No.
Also, they announced the final season. It's the final season, right? Of Squid Game is coming out on June 27th.
Yeah, Squid Game. They showed a new trailer for, and then what I'm more excited about is they gave you the first 6 minutes of Wednesday season 2, which is all about her finding a serial killer this time.
Nice.
Oh, I'm ready for it. I loved Wednesday. I love Jenna Ortega, Scream Queen. Let's go. So yes, I honestly, I'm more excited about Wednesday than Stranger Things.
I haven't watched either the Squid Game or Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday was so good.
I feel like I might like Wednesday. I feel like I might like Squid Game, but everybody's like, "Oh, it's so violent," and I'm like,
"You need to watch Squid Game. It's great."
But I don't want stress in my life. 2 of Allie's great loves are joining together. 8772 RadioU, pickleball, of course, and Burger King. Joining forces. We just did a first to worst on fast food burgers. You said Burger King has the best fast food burger.
I said their Bacon King burger was indeed my favorite. But I don't know if I'd go with Burger King as the best chain.
What could make their Bacon King burger better than the best that it already is in your mind if they added pickleball to it?
How would they add pickleball to it?
Well, I'll tell you the new Burger King pickleball burger, and you tell me if this sums up pickleball to you. It is three flame-grilled 100% beef patties.
Okay.
Nestled between specially crafted rice buns. And there also seems to be pickles, of course. 11 slices of pickles. And that's about it. And it all comes together for a cost of about what would amount to $12.28. Here's the thing. It's only in Japan.
No, this is not for me, obviously, because I don't live in Japan. But I don't think I like the idea of a rice bun. I don't know if I can get behind that. And 11 pickles?
That's a lot of pickles.
That's way too much. One pickle and you have enough pickle juice and all of that. Mm-hmm. No thanks.
It does, especially there's no other sauce. There's not a lot else for the pickles to compete with.
Yeah.
This is going to be very pickle forward.
Yeah, this is just too much pickle. And I don't get, I mean, obviously they have pickles on it, but other than that, I don't get what the pickleball part of it is. I think what the more important part is that they're just trying to appeal to the Japanese audience with like the rice and everything. Because they have a partnership with the Japan Pickleball Federation.
Got it.
So that's what this is.
Does this sound, maybe it doesn't sound like it tastes like pickleball, but does it sound like something you could eat at a pickleball event?
No, because it'd be too messy.
That's what I think that like a burger with rice actually could be good. Okay. I think that flavor could work. I would definitely want some soy sauce involved, but I think that could work.
I think rice is super malleable. Like it can work with anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just don't know how it would stay together as a bun.
That's what I'm thinking. Like what kind of magic devices are they using to keep the rice from just crumbling apart?
Yeah.
Even if it is a bun at first, once you take one bite, I feel like it's just going to collapse. Yeah, all over your pants.
And then all you have is pickles and beef.
And a mess. A mess. So you don't want to have that when you're trying to pickle.
Yeah, unless you're trying
to ball.
You have to eat this with like a fork and a knife.
Maybe and then is it even a burger at all at that point?
At that point, it's not a burger.
I think maybe there's something, it's Japan. Maybe there's just something we just don't understand.
I think that's probably it.
There could just be an aspect that we don't get, but also we have a pickleball expert here, and I'd consider myself a burger expert, and I don't think this hits the mark.
Yeah.
This is not hitting the center of the paddle at all.
No.
Is that where you would hit from?
Yeah. I mean, that's where you try to. It's the sweet spot.
Yeah.
The
this does not hit the sweet spot.
It's not. Nope.
We did get a NBA conference or an NBA Finals matchup finalized over the weekend. The Pacers got the win over the New York Knicks. It wasn't a blowout, but also they led from wire to wire pretty much.
Yeah.
And so now we know Pacers versus Thunder in the NBA Finals starting on Thursday. It's going to be a long wait to go that many days without NBA games.
Yeah, but it's worth it. I feel like this is going to be an exciting matchup. I got no idea who was going to win this.
Oh, I will call it right now. Thunder in 5.
Really?
Oh, this is going to be quick.
The Pacers look really determined.
They look...
And very well coached.
They are well coached, which I love that about them. I just think this is a whole different level of competition. The guys the Thunder can throw at you is way different than the guys that the Knicks have been able to throw at them. And going back to the injury-riddled Cavs at the time, like the Thunder are healthy and they've got if you shut down Shea, then you're dealing with Chet Holmgren. If you shut down him, you're dealing with Jalen Williams. And I think more importantly, I think the Pacers are going to have such a tough time scoring versus this Thunder defense.
They do have a good defense. But yeah, we'll see. I feel like there's some interesting matchups in this series. Shea versus Tyrese. Mm-hmm. You got the MVP versus the guy that everybody has been now told doubt at your own risk. Mm-hmm. And as a Cavs fan, I feel like I can definitely tell you that now. Like literally doubt at your own risk against Tyrese.
Yeah, and I love the Pacers, and I'm glad they've made it this far. And I did love the Eastern Conference Finals. They played out in such a fun way.
Okay.
With there
was a lot going on.
Yeah, and a lot of the games were exciting. Like they were actually close, and even if it started out or if it seemed like a blowout, it wound up not being a blowout.
Yep.
Because the Pacers would battle back into it. And then the Knicks kind of did the same thing for one of their games where they won. So, and then you had the star power involved, New York City.
You had the big
Timothy Chalamet
choke moment from Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
There's just so many good moments.
Premature choking.
Yeah, premature choking, but at the end, they still won the game.
The back and forth between Ben Stiller and Pat McAfee has been really fun. And then Tyrese Halliburton got involved. And I feel like, I mean, if you haven't been following it, we don't need to go into all of it, but it's just been like trash talking, but good natured. Like everybody's, we're having a good time. I'm sure Ben Stiller didn't lose a lot of sleep when the Knicks lost Game 6, even though he's a big fan, and I'm sure he really wanted them to win. But also, he's having fun with it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I like to see in sports.
Yeah, I love to see this type of stuff too. And honestly, I am so happy that the Knicks got beat. the last thing I wanted was the Knicks in the finals. Knicks fans, I cannot stand. I'm sorry.
The one thing that I'm bummed about is because I would have been fine if the Knicks won. I was rooting for the Pacers, but for me, I wouldn't have seen the Knicks as villains versus the Thunder, but the NBA does need a villain. And I think lots of sports need this. And who's the villain in the NBA Finals? There's no villain. How can you not be happy either way? Thunder, Pacers, who are you going to hate?
Well, I think if you're not a Pacers fan, you're definitely looking at Tyrese Halliburton as a villain just because he's so boisterous right now, which he hasn't
But he
been.
backs it all up.
He does, but he hasn't been that way in his career. This is kind of a new thing, at least from what I've noticed. Like, he hasn't been this outspoken. But yeah, like you said, he does back it up. But I have to say, the only thing that will make my Cavs' heart okay with this season, which was very disappointing, I just have to be honest, is that we lost to the NBA Finals champions.
Well, you did lose to the Thunder this year, right?
Yeah, but that was just regular season.
No.
Just regular.
Wasn't it in...
We also beat the Thunder. So.
Wasn't it in that silly... Who won the mid-season championship? No one even remembers.
I don't even remember.
It was the Thunder, right?
The in-season tournament or whatever.
Could they possibly sweep both?
Maybe.
Or was it the Kings? We have no idea.
I don't know.
Tinder is testing out a controversial new filter that could spark the end for the short kings out there. 8772 RadioU. Tinder is working on a height filter. Now, this is not a filter that would specifically exclude people that are outside your height range that you would set, but it would influence the algorithm. And so it may not mean that nobody that's 5'4" would come up for you, but you would see less of those 5'4" individuals.
Yeah.
It's being seen, obviously, if you're a particularly short person, or maybe if you're on the taller end as well, you might be feeling a little discriminated against by this.
Yeah, if you're on the extremes where it's you're super short or you're super tall, then you're probably, and again, I have to say this. This is probably only going to really impact guys.
Yeah.
It's not really, maybe some guys will say they don't want girls taller than them, but for the most part, there's probably not many that would be much taller than them. And so, yeah, I feel like this, for the most part, will be discriminating against guys.
Yeah, realistically, I don't think as many guys are going to be going in and messing with the height filter. Maybe, but you're right. It's going to be the guys that are getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah, it really is. There's some great comments because I guess this, the reason we found out about this, there was a screenshot of this new filter that was posted on Reddit. Some of the comments, pretty funny. This one says, "This is the only way they're going to get women to pay for Tinder."
No!
Because this is a premium feature, so you have to pay to be able to have this filter. And another person said, "I feel like this just ends with every single guy lying about their height on their profile even more than before."
That's so true.
I was like, yeah, that's absolutely true.
As a guy now, you just have to figure out what the optimal height is. And here's the thing. I feel like you should, while you're right to get your feelings hurt if you're a shorter guy, and you're like, "Wow, they're gonna exclude against me. Wow, I'm gonna not show up, and they're not gonna be able to swipe on me." The alternative is probably that, if you're truthful about your height on there, and there's no height filter, there's gonna be gals that do not want to. They're just not going to be comfortable.
They're not going to swipe right on you.
And so if they don't see your height, or you're not excluded from their algorithm based off of your height at first, maybe you get all the way to a date, and then they meet up with you, and you're shorter than them, and they're still going to not want to date.
They reject you in person.
You have so much to and it may not be fair, but you have so much to overcome, and maybe by weeding out these women that don't want you anyways, it'll actually make your experience better.
Yeah, maybe, and again, this is not, I feel like most women aren't going to pay to get this feature because most women don't pay for dating apps.
Yeah,
and they certainly don't pay for Tinder because
you don't need to.
They don't need to. Tinder is majority, way majority male. And so
I think it's like basically there's 3 guys for every 1 woman on Tinder.
It's like 75% is men. And so women don't need to pay for this service, and most women don't.
But what they do need is to filter down that massive pool of men that's very overwhelming down to the guys that actually would be something that they possibly would be interested in.
Yeah, that actually would appeal to them. And I gotta be honest, as a girl, the thing I think about, and this might sound controversial, the thing I think about with height, I don't think about for me typically. This is so crazy. This is gonna be nuts. I feel like this is a wild take in my brain.
Do it.
I don't think about my experience of like, I need them to be 6'4" or whatever. I'm thinking about my kids. If I marry
you don't want to
and
have short kids.
If I marry and have children with this man, and he's like 5'6", I'm thinking of like, oh, how short are my kids gonna be? I want my kids to be able to be tall. I don't know. I know I have no tall genes to give them. Yeah. So I'm very short, by the way.
No, that's a good point.
I don't know if that's a wild take, but that's literally what I think about. Because I'm like, I don't care height-wise, but I'm like, what about my kids?
I actually feel like so many of the differences in like our thought process of women and men when it comes to dating actually comes down to that, where guys are not thinking about what are our kids going to be like, and women think about that way more.
We do. We think about it.
And so there might be traits as a guy that you have that aren't necessarily complete negatives for you, but they would be negatives to pass on through the family tree.
To somebody else, to a child.
Traits that need to die with you.
Oh, no.
Like being short. Picture this. You're on a Delta flight. It's been delayed. The kind of delay where you're in the sky waiting to land, and you're just circling Orlando for 2 hours.
Oh, no.
8772 RadioU. Would this make you feel better if they let a little girl get on the speaker system and start singing Moana songs? This girl, there's video of this. It's on TikTok. How old would you say this girl is, Allie, if you had to guess? Like 10, maybe?
No, I think she's probably more like 11 or 12.
11, 12, maybe a little older?
Yeah.
I'm a horrible judge of age. 18, I don't know.
No, not 18.
I don't know. I really do not know. But she is young enough to be singing Moana on a speaker system on a plane.
Young enough to get away with it and be cute. You know, if you sound bad. I haven't listened to this yet. Hopefully she didn't sound bad.
So I did listen to it. She does not sound, she's a fine singer.
Okay, good.
But the caption of the TikTok is, when your Delta flight is delayed 2 hours and you circle Orlando for another 2, but then a little girl sings Moana on the crew mic and suddenly everything feels okay.
Aww.
I don't know about everybody else, but that would not make me feel okay.
Why not? It's adorable. I haven't even heard it yet, and it's so cute.
I am not even on the plane, and it's not bad singing, but it is irritating.
Why is it irritating?
Because we're all just trying to mind our own business here, and you're making yourself the center of attention on a plane. Here's what makes it even worse. It's not the girl. It's not the girl's fault. I don't think this was her idea.
Whose idea was it?
The mom is standing right behind her.
Is that the mom, or is that the flight attendant?
That's the mom. And the mom is definitely like, hey, I know. How about we have Molly here sing for everybody? She loves to sing. She knows all the songs from all the Disneys. She's actually got to we're landing in Orlando for her to perform.
She's going to try out.
This would be a great rehearsal for her. And I think that everybody would love it. And she got like a couple people around her like, wouldn't y'all love it? And they felt obligated to be like, yeah. And so,
I mean, what else are you going to
do? Watch a movie. There's got movies on the planes. It's a Delta flight.
Well, you can put your little headphones on and like you'll be fine.
I feel like there's a lot of people bothered by this.
Why? This is a 2-minute video. It's not like she sang the whole time.
How long do you think she just sang one song?
Maybe.
Once you get up there and you get the mic, you don't give it up. You don't give it up till the crew rips it out of your hands.
She looks very humble.
I'm sure the child is nice. I feel like the mom is the problem.
Why is she a problem?
Because
I don't get what you're getting about, like, that this is like toddlers and tiaras or something.
That's
like,
definitely what this is.
No.
Look at the comments. What's your favorite horror movie? Being trapped in a metal tube with a singing child?
Oh, no. What? You guys, why are you so mean?
It's not the child's fault. It's a situation that you shouldn't have to be in.
But I feel like the people that don't like this stuff just don't like kids.
I don't think so, because I like kids.
Well, okay, but these comments of the people that don't like it just sound like they just don't like children.
I don't think that's what it is. I think it's somebody that, like, you have to, because you have to be nice. You have to be nice.
Singing children is a problem for you?
Like,
come on.
In this instance.
Why?
Because you can't escape and you have to stand there.
Why do you need to escape from a singing child? What is threatening
because
about that?
Because I didn't ask to hear the singing child.
You don't.
Where do I go? How do I get away? I didn't
put your headphones on.
I didn't okay. Are you just gonna go to a middle school talent show?
What?
Would you with kids you don't know?
I could.
That's what this is.
I love kids.
Would you do that?
I could.
Would you tell me yes or no?
I would be fine with seeing kids show me their
But
talent.
would you go to a middle school talent show that kids you don't know?
I probably can't because I work. And they're probably during the day.
The way you're not answering this question is the answer to the question. You don't want to do that because it's uncomfortable. And why would you want to see these kids you don't know sing?
No, it's not.
People don't go see kids they don't know sing.
Well, maybe, to go to a place. But if it just happens when you're there, why would you be like, I gotta get out of here, guys?
Because I didn't want to be here.
But you're just on a plane. Like, what's so bad about it? I just don't understand why it's just wholesome.
Eric brought up a great point. You can't just watch a movie because you get crew announcement in progress on the screen and it pauses. So you literally can't escape.
Well, I just meant putting on your personal headphones and listen to your own music.
I mean, if the flight is delayed by 2 hours and you're stuck in the air, you only downloaded so many movies ahead of time.
Yeah.
And then you're like, am I going to pay for the Wi-Fi to even though our flight's supposed to be landing any minute now, to escape this child singing?
Hudson, you know something I like to do.
What's that?
Keep stats.
Oh, yeah.
I love the records, right? I like to keep track of the different records, especially in sports. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fun. And so I feel like the record books are something I look into.
Yeah.
I enjoy.
Well, even if you're not a sports person, much do we all love seeing Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year, right, and looking at your listening stats?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stats are something we enjoy. We like to keep track of that type of stuff, and I do it for, softball for my little cousin Carly and all of that. So I think it's fun to have a little record book or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, you know what? We all kind of have a record book, and it's one that we need to get rid of.
Okay.
And what I was thinking of was the verse from the book of Corinthians out of the Bible, 1 Corinthians, where it says, love keeps no record of wrongs. This is the love chapter. It's chapter 13. And it's,
you always hear this one at weddings.
Yeah. It goes through the descriptions of love. It's actually very profound if you read it. It sounds almost like an anachronism, which means it's way ahead of its time. Because if you read it, you're like, this is not what the Roman world and the Greek world certainly looked like at the time. But that's just how amazing, Christ is, that he even, like, Paul was able to experience this love and write about it in this way.
Yeah.
It's so profound. But I was thinking to myself, I was like, isn't it true that we kind of do that, though? We carry around record books. When someone does something wrong to us, we're like, I'm going to write this down for later, And then when maybe we forget about it, maybe we've kind of moved on. But then when they do something wrong to us in the future, we get that record book out and we can look through all those things that we've written down and like, I remember when they did this to me. Or maybe it's a situation where we're in a group of people, somebody mentions something, they did this, and you're like, well, here's all the things they did to me.
Yeah.
And we kind of keep those grudges, we keep that chip on our shoulder for that certain person or this person over here, and we keep that record of wrongs, and we can bring it out and remember instead of forgiving, instead of loving and showing grace. And I feel like we need to throw those record books away. We need to get rid of those record records. Those are not good to keep.
Yeah, well, it's not when it says love keeps no records of wrongs. That's a way that we should be thinking of how we're viewing other people and how we're loving towards other people. But it also is a reminder of how God is looking at us. And because he loves us, he's not keeping a record. He does not. And I have to remind myself of this all the time, that God isn't keeping fantasy stats of all the good and bad that we've done and making, adding or dropping us from his fantasy team based off of our stats either.
Right.
God's not keeping a record, and therefore we should not be keeping records on ourselves and others as well. I mean, obviously you still should be doing right, but that doesn't mean that every time something wrong happens, whether it's something somebody does to you or something that you do, that you need to hold on to that and add that to some kind of ledger because it all adds up to something. We have to let that go.
You have to let it go. And I often hear excuses from people when they do bring these things up and they're just like, well, I'm venting, or, I just feel like something needs to be said about what they did. It was just so wrong. And it's like, well, just go talk to them maybe about it instead of to me, but yeah, like God doesn't want us to hold this record book of, all the wrong things people have done to us. And we're just waiting for the moment to pull out this book and be like reading this list of all these things that people have done wrong to us. We should forgive because we were forgiven when we never deserved that forgiveness. And we should love because we were first loved by God, as you pointed out.
Yeah, find that love, find that clean record that comes from a relationship with God and that forgiveness. All you need to do is say, hey, God, I'm ready for that. I want that in my life. I want to stop keeping a record of all my wrongs and everybody else's too. I think you'll be a lot less stressed.
Yeah.
You start to do that. Start talking to God about it. If you want to know more, RadioU.com/free gift. It's our Monday tradition, the box office breakdown, looking at what made money and what did not in theaters over the weekend. Let us know what you've seen recently, 8772 Radio U. We'll start off with your number one movie in America for the second week in a row, and that's Lilo and Stitch. It's now the second highest grossing movie of 2025, and it took it 2 weeks to get there.
Wow.
And that's and it's not saying that there haven't been a lot of other movies that have done well this year. Like, it surpassed Sinners, which made a lot of money this year.
It did, but not box office like a big summer movie amount of, like, it made money, but not like huge.
Yeah. It did not make quite as much as Lilo and Stitch has, which made another $63 million this weekend. Now up to $280,000 or $1,000,000. $280,000. It's $280 million just in North America alone. Obviously making a lot of money overseas too. Lilo and Stitch.
It hasn't surpassed a Minecraft movie, right?
That would be number one. Yeah, in North America. So Lilo and Stitch keeping the live action remake dream alive for Disney.
No, that's the last thing I want them to do.
If you saw Lilo and Stitch, let us know. 8772 Radio U, the new one. We've all seen the old one. Number two was Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I didn't realize that's the 8th Mission Impossible movie.
Really?
Yeah, there's been 8.
8 of them? That's crazy.
It made $27 million this weekend. It's at $122 million in North America. It had about $400 million budget. And so when you account for how much it's made worldwide, it's still like $50 million away from just breaking even.
Yeah.
Disregarding the promotion cost and then actually becoming profitable. So surprisingly to me, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, maybe it is time for it to be the end of Mission Impossible, the real final. This was the final reckoning.
I honestly think that they should stop.
Even though they're so fun though. Now this was surprising to me. Number 3 at the box office. Did anybody see this? Karate Kid Legends. It was the new release this week. It was the big new release. It only made $21 million.
I saw no promotion for this movie.
I saw something, like, I knew it was coming out.
I had no clue it was coming out.
But it did not feel like they pushed it as much recently, to me anyways.
Yeah, I had no idea this movie was coming out. No idea it was even being made. Because, and that's crazy to me, because I watched Cobra Kai.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's like it had Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
It
had Daniel LaRusso from the original Karate Kid.
Yeah, tying like the new show to an actual movie.
Yep.
And I think like the show is done, right?
The show
Cobra Kai's
just finished.
So like putting a bow on all of that, and I thought that'd be a big deal, but not a big enough deal. Only $21 million.
I think over the years, Cobra Kai has lost a lot of fans because it switched from YouTube to a YouTube series to Netflix. It gained fans when that first happened, and then they took a long time to finish it, and so they lost fans. So a lot of the hype got lost. I think
I definitely have seen way less people talking about it versus its heyday.
Right, and so I think if this movie came out a few years ago when Cobra Kai was more kind of in the zeitgeist, it may have done better.
All right, 8772 RadioU. Let us know the movies you've seen lately, and Allie and I will share anything we've gotten into lately. Coming up, Allie, it's been a while since we talked movies. What's the last thing that you watched?
Well, I did this for my box office breakdown without you last week, but I went to see Marvel's Thunderbolts.
Ah, yes.
I really loved it. I thought it was honestly one of the best Marvel movies I've seen, and I was really happy with it because it deals with some pretty hard topics to deal with, especially in a superhero movie.
Yeah.
A lot of mental health stuff. And so I liked the message at the end, which usually I'm not about that when it comes to comic book movies. I'm all about like, let's just let this be a fun time. But I actually really enjoyed how they handled it. And it's all about like, the end is like the power of friendship, which is really wholesome because these are all like anti-heroes in the Marvel universe. And so to have them have that moment, I think that's why it felt a little more special. So I really enjoyed that.
Wow, that's a lot coming from you.
Yeah.
Some people have labeled you a Marvel hater.
Who's labeled me that?
Well, yeah, I think you did when we had that conversation with Sparkle.
I didn't say I was a Marvel hater. There are certainly Marvel movies I enjoy. I'm not quite on the hype train to be like a fanboy or fangirl.
I don't think anybody was on the hype train anymore. It died down.
I mean, back in the day, I was kind of just going along with the crowd. I wasn't really actually a fan.
Okay, so Thunderbolts, a thumbs up from Allie. The last thing I've got a show that I've been watching that's new, that I've newly been watching.
Okay.
And a brand new movie that just came out over the weekend. I don't know if you talked about Mountainhead.
I did not.
But that was a new movie that launched on Max over the weekend.
Oh.
It has a good cast. Steve Carell is in it.
Okay.
It's Jason Schwartzman. It is written by one of the people that was at the forefront of Succession on HBO as well.
Okay.
So very well written. Now, if you watch Succession, like just that idea. And it's these 4 tech bros that get together in this mountaintop chalet. And it's like they're 4 friends that have some kind of history, and they're all like billionaires.
Okay.
And I don't want to give too much away, but like one of their companies is kind of seemingly responsible for tearing down the world while they're up there completely isolated, having fun at first, and then it kind of turns dark.
Oh.
And it's very, I don't know if hyper real is the way to describe it, but it's just like a little over the top. But I don't know.
Parts of it feel like it could happen in real life.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. It just a little over the top. But like it's a dark comedy.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. It's not as good as Succession.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like if you like Succession, it's that wrapped up into a shorter package because it's just a movie. But I also definitely highly recommend a show called Detroiters, which it's ended, but it's a show with Tim Robinson who does I Think You Should Leave on Netflix that everybody loves with the hot dog suit and the 55 burgers, 55 tacos, 50 whatever. So this is a show he did. I think it was on Comedy Central. It ran for 2 seasons. I've watched all the first season and part of the second. And it's like a really fun comedy.
Okay.
Really goofy. It's realistic. Like it's not.
So the show title is Detroiters.
Detroiters, like the city of Detroit.
Okay, yeah.
And it's him and his friend. They run a ad agency.
Oh.
And so a lot of the comedy comes from that. But it's just like it's real, but it's also absurd. And just like similar sense of humor to I Think You Should Leave. And it's just a kind of a light watch. relatively, nothing is clean, but like relatively clean. I would watch it with a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
But, it's not extreme.
I don't expect clean on Comedy Central.
Yeah, but like actually surprisingly tame.
Okay.
But just goofy. It's just a goofy show.
Interesting.
So if you have a weird sense of humor, a Tim Robinson sense of humor.
Yeah.
If you like I Think You Should Leave, you would like that show.
Okay.
And that's what I've been watching lately. Send in your reviews. What have you watched lately? 8772 RadioU.
Hudson, we're going to do a little theater of the mind break here.
Okay.
It's all going to be about almost like a Rorschach test for you.
Yeah.
You got to describe what you see.
Okay.
So I've got a book here, a picture book, like one that you can make yourself, like, like on the Shutterfly or Vistaprint or one of those websites.
Yeah.
So this book was sent to my cousin Kathy on Saturday, so a couple days ago. And they were at a farm where you could have these personal animal encounters, like one-on-one encounters with animals, like right up next to them.
That sounds fun.
And there were these progression of pictures that were taken of her with a certain kangaroo.
Okay.
And so you have to explain what you see.
Which picture am I?
The first one, their progression. So.
Okay, so the kangaroo is like nestled under her arm with its face like up against her chest.
Yep.
So. And
what does her face look like?
She seems uncomfortable. She does not seem comfortable with it.
Okay. And the book has some text here. It says it started with a sniff, an uneasy smile, and a bit closer
inspection. Who wrote this?
We don't know. It was sent to her, and we don't know. All right.
Did she pay for it?
No. It was just sent to her. Here's the next few pictures.
Okay. Now it's moved up her neck.
Yes. Okay.
And she seems happier now.
She is looking a tad bit happier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. An intoxicating scent and a hunt for the source.
Oh my gosh. Is the kangaroo seducing her? What is going on? And now it's moved behind her. Its face has moved behind her ear. And she seems to be laughing.
Yeah, she's laughing because it's like in her hair.
Yeah.
Almost like kissing her. It says, a little tickle of the whiskers, a long smell of the hair.
And now it's climbing. Its arms are wrapped around her neck. And it is climbing into her. It is like if this kangaroo could be inside her hair, it would be. If it could climb into her skull, I think that's what it would be doing.
It's fully in.
Yeah.
And then it was time for a surprise kiss. Let me love you.
Did the kangaroo write this book? Was this written by the kangaroo?
Describe what you see.
It's hugging her. She's pushing it away and screaming. And there seems to be a person intervening in the final picture, possibly pulling the kangaroo away because it's gotten too handsy.
Yeah, it got really handsy real quick.
I'm glad they commemorated all of that.
Yeah, and again, we
pictures.
Have no idea who made this. I saw these pictures.
So it wasn't like somebody like Kathy or somebody with her commissioned this.
No, we don't know who did it. We thought we knew who did it, but then when she confronted this person, that person said they did not make it. Mm-hmm. And so we were like, well, who made it then? So we're sleuthing. We're trying to figure it out. But Kathy has always loved kangaroos.
Yeah.
So she was very excited for this kangaroo experience. But this kangaroo, I think, thought it was a man and just decided it was going to kiss Kathy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was a lady kangaroo.
No, I think it was a male kangaroo.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. He wanted her to love
Got it.
Her.
It's him. Yeah. He really wanted that.
He really wanted some love.
Well, this has talked me out of a kangaroo encounter, which is something that I've had a close experience. I hate when you go to the regular zoo and you can walk through the kangaroos, but they're like, don't touch them. Don't get anywhere near the kangaroos. And you're like, then why do you let us walk right past them?
Yeah, they're right there.
Not that it seems like those kangaroos want you to touch them.
Yeah.
But I've also been to petting zoos where they have kangaroos and they're so nice.
Yeah, they're super nice and fluffy.
Yeah.
Yeah, these kangaroos were very nice, but this kangaroo was a little too nice.
Yeah. And besides that, I've seen Looney Tunes. I know like they don't mess around. They'll box you, they'll punch you out. And so as much
or
as
they'll try and kiss you.
Yeah, either way. And they're strong.
Yeah, they are.
I don't like my chances with a kangaroo. So, was that book? Maybe was it just included in the ticket in the experience? You didn't even know?
We don't know. They did send these pictures to the farm, and they absolutely loved them because it's like the slow divulge into panic from like pure bliss
goes from
to panic.
Happiness, uncomfortability, panic. What an experience. On the menu today, the brand new chocolate-covered pretzel Oreos. Allie, show that package to our YouTube and Facebook fans.
Yes, this is what it looks like, guys. Pretty sweet.
Here for a limited time.
Yep.
Should be sweet. Should be salty, too.
Yeah.
These are one of a couple new Oreo flavors that are out. This is the first one I found. There's also Selena Gomez Oreos that we have to get to at some point. But I did not see those at the store. Whenever I do Oreos, Allie, I typically like to peel them apart and eat the inside and then eat the Oreo cookie itself.
Yeah.
So I have to do both ways during a food
So you
fight.
got 2 Oreos?
Yeah, I have 2.
I think
one
I'll
to
do
eat
the
all together as Oreo intended, and then one to split apart. They definitely smell. I just went
smell
halfway,
so good.
and then I realized I had to say they smell like chocolate-covered pretzels. They actually nailed the smell.
They nailed the smell, and Oreos to me always smells good. Like never a doubt that this is like the best cookie ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just always the best.
Oh my gosh.
That's a pretty good sign.
This is one of the best Oreos I've had in a while.
Really?
This is good.
Have you not eaten Oreos in a while? Because I feel like every Oreo is the best.
Yes, there is that. That's definitely an aspect to it. You can even see in the chocolate cream inside, it has little crystals that are no doubt salt. And I love that it has that extra saltiness to it.
This is so good.
I really love a cookie. Like, obviously, you want cookies to have the sweet, but I love when you get like a chocolate chip cookie and it's got like a nice salty kick to it. That's a chocolate chip cookie I enjoy, and this is giving me that experience.
This is so good.
Definitely good.
I never had a doubt in my mind that I would enjoy these.
I did not get a clean break on the one I split apart, so take that for what it's worth, but I want to know, how does it taste? That didn't work either.
I got almost a clean break.
Not as, the cream doesn't stick together as some other Oreos.
Yeah, like
where you can
the
just
regular.
peel it out in a patty, an icing patty. It doesn't work that way. This one, I'm going to say this. I haven't had the cookie just on its own yet. I guess let me taste that too. I would leave this one all together.
Yes. I actually think it tastes better together.
And I don't even think you could have milk with this, but I don't think you wouldn't want to dip these.
I mean, you could.
You certainly could.
But it's not as like necessary compared to like regular, or double stuffed Oreos.
I don't know. So the cream inside is fine. I don't know what they did because this is not a golden Oreo on the outside. This is a different kind of Oreo. Whatever they did on the cookie part is the best.
It is the part that
so
sells
good.
it.
Yeah.
Because just the cream by itself was not anything special. It was just chocolate.
These are great Oreos.
All together, this is the first time I've ever been like, yep, all together is when it's needed. Like it's the best.
Usually I deconstruct the Oreos, not these ones. Eat them all together. I mean it. This is like Mount Rushmore Oreos.
Really?
These are up there.
These are really good. I don't know if I can declare Mount Rushmore just yet. I have a Carly softball update for us.
All right, your cousin Carly, little cousin Carly.
My little cousin Carly. And her team, they're called the Legends, by the way. Mm-hmm. So cool. Great name.
That's a good choice.
Great name because they're undefeated. They have not lost.
How many games?
4.
All right, that's pretty good.
4 games in. One game they won by like 20 runs.
Mercy rule?
No, there's no mercy rule.
What?
They do have a run rule for innings. You can only score 5 runs in an inning.
Okay.
And they only play an hour, so they usually play around 4 to 5 innings is what they can get in. But once they hit that hour mark, they're like, we can't start any new innings after that.
Okay, sure.
So, but last night, it was like yesterday afternoon, I went to a game, so game 4. Now, keep in mind, they should have been playing more games than this, but we've had a lot of rain here in Ohio recently, so they haven't played as many because several games have gotten postponed. But her team, again, undefeated. This game was going back and forth for a little bit, and then finally, with the second to last inning, they end up getting all 5 runs in that inning, and so they go up by quite a bit to the point where the other team can't score.
Yeah.
And then so they were the visiting team. So it was the top of the 4th. They score 5 runs. Then they go up by at that point, I think they went up by 6 or something, or maybe even more than that. But they went up by enough that the other team, even if they scored anything, wouldn't be able to win.
They wouldn't be able to score. They still capped them even though the game was going to end?
Yeah, they still cap you. And so even if, because they don't actually keep score, I keep score.
Oh.
I keep scoring.
So nobody knows they're undefeated except you.
No, I tell everybody. I let them all know. I'm like, we're undefeated. But the best part of the game for yesterday was everybody knew we were winning. We were up by like 9 runs or something.
You say.
Yeah, the legends. That's me right now.
Yeah, you're a part of the team.
I keep stats.
You're the official scorekeeper.
The official scorekeeper.
Yeah.
No, I don't even have like the scorebook or anything. It's literally just me keeping track of score and then what Carly does, her own stats.
Yeah.
So I don't actually have like the, keeping track of every single batter scorebook. But so they already knew they were going to win. And so the other team comes up to bat. And so this is the bottom of the 5th inning. And they get a triple play.
Wow.
To end the game.
I was thinking if you're capped at scoring 5 runs an inning and that happens a lot, I was thinking the fielding cannot be top notch in this league.
It's not great. I mean, these are kids that are learning. This is slow pitch, coach pitch, and so they're still learning. Not a lot of great throwing, not a lot of great catching going on.
Yeah.
But in this moment, there were because they got a triple play.
Yeah.
And they held this team. And again, there's usually a lot of scoring because there's not great defense. In the last 2 innings, so the bottom of the 4th and the bottom of the 5th, they did not allow this team to score.
Wow.
Not 1 run.
Wow. So you get the fielding locked down.
Yep.
And that's a big advantage.
So I'm hoping they can keep this up, this undefeated streak.
Yeah.
They are the legends after all.
Yeah.
That's a name to live up to.
They're doing it.
Yeah.
You get a triple play in a game. That's pretty legendary. In any level of.
I was going to say, for this level is insane.
Yeah. Now, I will say, not to make this about me, but I'm pretty sure I went undefeated in coach pitch as well.
Oh, you did? I thought you also
because everybody did because nobody was keeping score.
No.
They're all undefeated.
We're keeping score.
Everyone gets a trophy.
No, we're not doing that.
How much would you pay to have Sydney Sweeney's bathwater? 8772 RadioU.
Nothing.
If the answer is $8 or more, I've got good news for you.
Oh my goodness.
She has collaborated with Dr. Squatch to produce actual Sydney Sweeney game-used bathwater soap that you can buy. And it's only $8, which seems shockingly cheap to me.
Only $8?
That's shockingly cheap.
Hudson.
How much is a regular bar of soap? I don't even know because I buy body wash. But I can't imagine it's all that much, especially from Dr. Squatch. That feels like a higher end soap.
I have no idea what Dr. Squatch normally costs. Apparently they're, I don't know. It doesn't list here what their bars usually cost.
$8 is all it would take for you to have a bar of soap that supposedly includes bathwater that was previously used by Sydney Sweeney herself. And that goes on sale on June 6th. So later this week. Now, it's very limited edition, of course. Mm-hmm. They're saying it's a collector's item because she's only, taken so many baths where they've saved the water afterwards, supposedly.
Allegedly.
So they're only making 5,000 bars, and that's it. And so once they sell out, they're done. and you can get them at drsquatch.com if you're really interested.
I gotta say, anytime people do these stunts, I just never believe that this is actually their bath water or whatever.
I would be really surprised, even though, like, how hard would that actually be? The reason they came up with this is because she did an ad for Dr. Squatch where she was in the bath.
Yeah.
And so then I guess they could have had this idea all along. That's not even an actual bath. It just looks like a bath.
Right.
For the ad. And then they're like, let's save this. And sell it. And I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to make, but also they could totally be lying.
I think they are lying. And also, even if you are getting any of the water from that bath, like, it has to be run through so many different, like, sanitizations and all of that to be able to be sold and turned into soap.
Would you be able to extract any Sydney Sweeney DNA from this soap?
I doubt it.
I'd be surprised.
I doubt it, but I almost want someone to check and be like, nope, didn't find any Sydney Sweeney here.
Yeah, somebody's got to test this. One of the 5,000 people that gets one of these.
Yeah.
I also feel like, again, it's $8. That's really not... I would expect it to be much higher. And I'm kind of disappointed for Sydney Sweeney.
You're disappointed that it's so cheap?
Yeah, because this feels like something...
I don't think it's cheap at all. I think it's such a dumb stunt.
Yeah, but there's perverts out there that will buy this.
Unfortunately. Why else would they do it?
Yeah, exactly. They're going to sell out of these bars in no time flat. But I feel like she's one of the biggest stars in the world.
Yeah.
You got to sell your bathwater for more than $8 a pop to me.
Well, it looks like
if you're gonna stoop to this low, at least you got money and make it worth your while. $8. How much is she seeing out of that? Because she deserves more.
I don't know, but it does look like if you buy like the 6-pack from Dr. Squatch, it's like $36.
So, exactly. So they're barely marking up their own soap.
Right. So it's not exactly less expensive than normal. Yeah, their regular soaps are like $8, $7 just to get one bar.
If you're buying Dr. Squatch soap anyways, might as well get the one with Sydney Sweeney's bathwater in it.
What are these scents, by the way, for these soaps? I've never looked at their website because this is soap marketed towards men.
Yeah.
But pine tar. What?
Nice.
Why? Why would you want to smell like pine tar?
It's manly. That's why.
Okay, maybe pine, but tar? Like, what?
You can trick people into thinking that you've actually done something manly in your life.
Coconut castaway? Does that really sound manly?
That sounds like you haven't bathed in a long time.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you going to smell like Tim Hanks from
Tom Hanks,
Tom Hanks from Castaway? Why did I say Tim Hanks? What the heck?
I don't know.
Thanks for listening to the RadioU podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.